You want to be in the video? Oh. I guess she's gonna hang out there, probably for like 3 seconds, and then she's gonna leave. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my 2024 TBR. As we all know, I love a good TBR. I love putting them together and forming them. However, I wouldn't say I'm the best at the whole follow-through aspect of them, but I still really enjoy putting them together and sharing them with you guys. So I thought today we could sit down and talk about some books that I'm hoping to read this year. So I have 15 books that I would like to sit down and chat through with you guys today. I'm really excited because I have some series that I want to continue, have some series that I want to start, got some standalones, and I also have a ton of new releases that I am so excited about that are obviously coming out this year. So let's just get into talking about the books. I think first of all, I'm going to start out with the series that I want to continue, of which there are a few. So the very first book that I have on this TBR is actually, at the time of filming, is a book that I have already read. But in my defense, I put together my TBR before the beginning of the year, and it's like the 4th now or something. So I have already read this book. I got a little bit of a jump on my TBR this year, but obviously I wanted to tell you guys about it because I'm pretty proud of myself. But that is Voyage of the Basilisk by Marie Brennan. This is a part of the Lady Trent series, which is basically a series that is following our main character, who is a dragon naturalist, meaning they study dragons. I read the first 2 books in this series last year and I really enjoyed them. It's not like an all-time favorite series, but it's just really fun. And if you're looking for a book about dragons that focuses a little bit more on the scientific aspect to them, then I would highly recommend you check this series out. I feel like this is perfect for people who love Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies because it's very much like same concept, but instead of fairies, it's dragons. So really excited. I was gonna say I'm really excited to continue this, but I have already continued it. But I do really want to finish all of the books in this series. This is a 5-book series, so I have 2 more books that I need to read, which I definitely think I will be able to, and I'm so excited to see more from this series. This next book I have actually already started, but I am really not that far into it. This is the problem with filming my TBR video like a little bit after the first of the year because I have started my 2024 reading, but obviously need to include this because I really want to finish Rhythm of War. This is the 4th book in the Starlight archive. I've been reading these books kind of 1 a year for the last 3 or so years. So it is finally time that I catch up with this series. The 5th one is actually coming out in December, so I really want to read this in time for that so I can read it when it comes out. This is a very epic high fantasy work from Brandon Sanderson. There are currently 4 books out in the series with a couple of novellas. And this is the only book that I have left that I haven't read yet, which is honestly really sad. I've been reading the series so much slower than I have read like any other series, so the prospect of not having a new Stormlight book to potentially pick up at any given time, weird. But I'm also really excited to get to this. So as I said, I have started it. I'm on page 163, so like I'm not that far into it, but I cannot wait to see what the rest of this series holds. It'll be a bittersweet moment, but I'm still excited. Next up, I do have some more Brandon Sanderson on this list. I do have 3 Brandon Sanderson books to talk about in total today because I'm making it my mission in 2024 to catch up with the Cosmere. Maybe? Like, that's the goal. It's not like an official goal. It's like kind of an unofficial goal because really all I have left is Mistborn Era 2, Elantris, and some of the secret projects, which I'm like pretty close to like catching up, which is very exciting. Although none of that information is helpful right now because the next book I'm about to talk about is not a part of the Cosmere. But I thought I would put it out there for you guys that I'm going to be reading a lot of Brandon Sanderson this year. But the next book is actually the 2nd book in the Skyward series, which is Starsight. This is a young adult sci-fi series that is not associated with the Cosmere, but we read Skyward in October for Wyverns and Words. If you guys don't know, that's the book club that I run with Cass. Maybe you know, maybe you don't, I don't know. So it's linked down below if you want to join. But I really enjoyed Skyward. It was like my first proper foray into sci-fi books, and it was so much fun. Basically, that book is following our main character Spencer, who is training to become a pilot in like the war against the aliens that the people on this planet are facing. And it was just so much fun. I really enjoyed all of the sci-fi elements. I loved all of the characters, and I'm really excited to see where the series is gonna go because I know it's like a 4-book series with some novellas thrown in there, so really just want to continue it. I do also have Cytonic back there somewhere, which I am hoping to read, but with the series that I'm continuing, I'm only putting the next book in the series that I have to read like officially on the TBR, if that makes sense. But like the general idea is to finish these series, but that's like a big maybe. The next book that I want to talk about is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. This is the 2nd book in the Farseer trilogy. We read again, another book that we read for Women's and Words. We read the first book in this series back in September. I really liked it. It's not a favorite, but I feel like Rob and Hobb's books are only going to get better and better, and that's like what I've heard, so I've been really excited to continue this series. These books are just a little long, which does scare me, but one of my goals for 2024 is to focus on reading longer books, because I find every time I get myself to pick up a longer book, I really enjoy it, and like the time that the author gets to explore concepts, characters, world building, whatever, I always really enjoy going like deep into that stuff. But I never pick up long books because they intimidate me. So 2024, my goal is to just like pick up longer books. So this one, even though it's like not crazy, the last book in the series is like 850 pages or something. So intimidated, but excited still. And then the last book that I have in my series I want to continue, little category I have here, is the second book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series by Laini Taylor, which is Days of Blood and Starlight. I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone back in November, I believe, and I was really liking it. I've said this like a million times. I did not enjoy the second half to Daughter of Smoke and Bone, but I think there's a very specific reason as to why, and like I can pinpoint that, and I don't think that's going to be present throughout the rest of the books in the series, because I was really enjoying the concept. It basically follows our main character, Karou, who is like an errand girl for these chimera. It's set in Prague, it has portal magic. I was really liking the overall vibe of the story, so I'm really hoping that like the elements that I love are going to be more present in the series going forward. So I'm very intrigued to get to this one and see what I think of it. Obviously I love Strange the Dreamer, so I'm really hoping that I also love Laini Taylor's other series as a whole, but I guess we will see. Moving on, I do want to talk about two series that I want to start. One of these is probably not the best idea to put on my 2024 TBR, but I do quickly want to talk about Ship of Magic by Rob and Hobb. And this is questionable because I want to read the Farseer trilogy before I read Ship of Magic. But like, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I do, again, want to push myself to read longer books, so I'm really hoping I can finish the Farseer trilogy and start the Live Ship Trader series. I know a lot of people love this series, and it is one of their favorites in the realm of the Elderlings. And the concept of this one absolutely intrigues me. It features live ships, essentially. And I just want to know more about that. Like, I've been hearing people talking about this series for like the entire time that I've been watching BookTube, and people just rave about it. And I want to join the people raving about it. So really hoping I can get to this one, but I do really want to finish the Farseer trilogy first, so we'll see if it happens. And then the other series that I'm really hoping to start is technically the continuation of a series, but it is like the first book in its own series, you know? And that is The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. I'm thinking, like, maybe, this is a big maybe, I might want to do a reread of the Shades of Magic trilogy. It's been like 3.5 years since I read the trilogy for the first time at this point, and I don't remember a ton about it, aside from the fact that I really enjoyed it. And Cass read the entire trilogy at like the very end of last year, and seeing all of her reactions to it were just really making me miss that series. And I feel like it's just been a minute since I've picked up anything by V.E. Schwab, so I'm contemplating a reread of that. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna do it or not, but I will absolutely be reading The Fragile Threads of Power no matter what happens, to be honest. I'm just so intrigued to see what the continuation of this series is going to be like. I've seen a lot of good reviews for it. I don't exactly know what the general premise of this book is, but for the series as a whole, basically there are 4 different Londons. You have black, white, gray, and red, and our main character, at least in the first series, can like travel between all of these different Londons. And that's kind of all I got. As for a synopsis for the first series, I'm sorry, it's been a minute, but I hear that V.E. Schwab does do like a good job at kind of giving you a refresher on what happens in the original trilogy in the beginning of this one, so it'll just really depend on whether I feel like doing a reread of like an entire series or not, but I definitely want to read this. So those are the 2 series that I'm really hoping to start, and now we can definitely move on into a couple of standalones. The first one being Cersei by Madeline Miller. I know I've put it on too many TBRs and I still haven't read it. We don't have to talk about it. But I am going to be putting it on this TBR as well because I'm so excited for it. I just feel like I haven't really been in the mood for it recently. But this is basically a Greek retelling following a character from Greek mythology who is Cersei. She is a witch. I believe she's featured in the Odyssey, as well as probably some other stuff, I would assume. But I really enjoyed her little section of the Odyssey, and I've been meaning to pick this book up for such a long time. It'll be my first Madeline Miller. I think it'll be my first Greek retelling ever, so very, very excited. I just need to get myself to pick it up. And then the other one is my other Brandon Sanderson book, because I do want to read Tress of the Emerald Sea. Yes, I did buy the Kickstarter edition of it, even though I haven't read the book yet, but I kind of bought it as like a little gift to myself for 70,000 subscribers, which I did hit recently. And we need to talk about that, because just thank you guys so much. It's just insane, and I'm so grateful to every single one of you for being here and watching my videos and subscribing. But I wanted to get myself like a little gift for 70K. Really, it was just an excuse because I was gonna buy this book anyway. But I really wanted to get Tress because it's gorgeous. I'm not a huge fan of the US edition of it, and this is always like, every time I see it I'm like, I need that book, I need to buy that book. So I bought the book. I do believe this is kind of like a loose retelling of The Princess Bride, which I've never seen The Princess Bride, which honestly kind of seems like a crime at this point. Maybe I'll watch the movie after I read this book, because actually I'm absolutely going to be reading this book this year, because this is my January buddy read for my Patreon. So really excited about that. Just really excited about this book in general. This will be my very first one of the secret projects that I've read, but I do really want to read Yumi and the Nightmare Painter as well, like so badly. I want to read that book, but I do want to wait to read that one because I know it's typically advised that you wait until you've read a couple more books in the Cosmere before you pick it up. The same thing kind of goes for Tress, although you can totally start the Cosmere by reading Tress. You're just not going to pick up as many connections to the other series, but like I don't really care about that. I figure at some point I will probably reread all the books in the Cosmere and I can pick up the hints then. I'm just so excited to pick this one up because I know so many people love it. So that is it for all of the books on my physical TBR that I'm really hoping to read this year, but obviously I have a ton of new releases that I'm so excited about, so thought we could kind of end off the video by talking about those. The first one is a book that is coming out in January, and I am so excited about it. And that is Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands by Heather Fawcett. As we all know, I absolutely adored Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia Fairy, so I've been waiting for this one to come out. I have pre-ordered the UK copy. You already know I had to do it. It's so beautiful. Like, I've never seen a cover of a book that I've been more obsessed with than this one. It's so gorgeous. Although, to be honest, I'll probably also buy the US edition of it because I do like those as well. It's hard. It's tough to choose which one is better, but I think the UK one is better. But if you guys don't know, this series is following a main character, Emily Wilde, who is a Cambridge professor, and she is writing her Encyclopedia of Fairies. Honestly, I don't exactly know what's going down in the second book in this series, but I'm going to go in not knowing anything, and I'm so excited about it. And it comes out January 16th, I believe, so very soon. The next one is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, and I think this one comes out in the summer, maybe? I have absolutely no clue what this book is about. I got nothing. I don't know anything. I just absolutely adored Ali Hazelwood's release from last year, Love Theoretically. It was just so good. It was so good. So now Ali Hazelwood is basically an auto by author for me, so obviously I need to pick this book up. I just wish I knew what it was about. Figure that out later. We have a friend. Hang on. She left, and now she's back. So then the next book that I'm really excited about is, what's it called? A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. This is the author that wrote the very... Damn, what's that one called? The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Look, I love the long titles. I think they're fun, but I cannot remember them. To save my life. This one I also don't know a ton about, aside from the fact that it is obviously witchy. I just love the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches so much. It was an easy 5-star when I read it last year that absolutely I need to pick up Sangu Mandana's new release. It literally sounds so cozy, and that sounds like everything I could possibly need. I'm unsure as to when this book is coming out because on Google it says April, but then I was watching Jan's video where she was talking about it and she said it came out in September, so I'm confused, but I'm sure it's coming out at some point in time. But whenever it comes out, I will be there and I will be reading it. Then I have An Education in Malice by S.D. Gibson. I read A Dowry of Blood last year. As you can see, there's a theme. I really only get like super excited for releases from authors that I am like aware of. Obviously I would pick up new releases from authors that I haven't read before, but the ones that go in my TBR are typically from authors that I've read and really enjoyed before. So I loved A Dowry of Blood. I also gave that one 5 stars. Such an easy 5-star. If you haven't read Dowry, highly recommend. But I figured I really need to pick up something else by S.T. Gibson, and An Education in Malice is such an intriguing title. Aside from the title, I don't know anything about it, but I think it comes out in April, maybe. I'll put the release date under the book covers, so you'll know, but I won't know. Then we have The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I read The Good Girls Guide to Murder series and 5 Survive last year, also by Holly Jackson. I have loved like every single one of her books. I think they're so fun. So when she announced that she had another one coming out this year, which I think also comes out in April, I was like, you already know I'm gonna be there. I, again, don't know what this is about. But all of these authors are like auto-buy authors for me at this point, so I don't even need to know what they're about. But I am super excited for another YA mystery with like a thrillery side to it. I can't wait. And then we have, maybe, am I the most excited about this one or Emily Wilde's? I don't know. But we have the 9th book in the Veronica Speedwell series, A Great Robbery. I cannot wait. It has been way too long since I have hung out with Veronica and Stoker. No, I'm definitely the most excited about this one. Like, look at the reaction. I'm so excited. If you guys don't know, the Veronica Speedwell series follows our two main characters, Veronica and Stoker, as they go around in Victorian London solving mysteries and whatnot. There is also an absolutely stunning slow burn romance, and we already know around here how I feel about the Veronica Speedwell series. It's been like 6 months since I caught up with all 8 books that are currently out. So it's been too long. So I'm so excited. I think this one comes out in March, and it's too far away. It's still too far away. And that's actually the last book on here. Okay, cool. There we go. So those are all of the books that I'm honestly just like way too excited about to read this year, or I'm excited about them coming out this year. I feel like 2024 reading, hopefully, is amazing because I feel like I had a really good reading year in 2023. I found so many new favorite books and series, and I cannot wait to see what 2024 holds. So hopefully, I love some of these. Obviously, I would love to know down below, what are some books on your 2024 TBR? Literally tell me as many as you want. I love seeing what people are planning on reading for the year and what you guys are excited about, so do let me know. Also, if there are any new releases that I missed, things that you think should be on my radar, do let me know. Also, before we go, I did want to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you're ever looking for more content from me, that is always linked down below. As I said earlier, we are going to be reading Trust of the Emerald Sea this month, and I literally cannot wait. There will be a spoiler-filled reading vlog going up at the end of the month, which is also going to be so fun to film, so if you want to come check that out, you can if you are so inclined. But with that, I'm actually going to let you guys go, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having an amazing 2024 so far, and I will see you all in my next video, where hopefully I'm reading some of these books. So with that, bye!